Hey guys, Chris here. I want to do a video talking about why we attract narcissistic people as empaths, and for those who are enmeshed or on this sort of detangling enmeshment journey, why you're more likely to attract narcissists. So, being enmeshed, sort of entangled with a parent, no clear boundaries, this feeling of guilt of leaving them, of not being there for them, of letting them down, and this sort of these sort of feelings. Well, narcissistic people we're attracted to, and they're attracted to us because of their energy, because how much, like, as empaths, we have so much energy to give. And then also, if we talk about enmeshment, and you're going through the therapy route, at some point you have to see that it is an element that's in a parent as well. If we're attracting a lot of female narcissists and we're a boy, a man, and it has to be some sort of link with the mother as well, and then with the guys as well, more so on male role models, and sort of just friends in general, where you're kind of beating yourself up. You're made to not feel good enough. Men like this. They like the power over people. So this is why we attract that, and we think that's a sort of ideal man that we need to be. So it does get a bit confusing, but once you start to see it, once you start to be in your feelings, because your feelings should be like, this something doesn't feel right here, it doesn't feel right with this relationship. This guy feels a bit, he's more in his ego. So the journey as a man, as I was talking about on a different video, is to step into that fully, into that power, being a sensitive guy and empathic guy, and being that sort of new alpha male from there, rather than thinking I have to be like this guy who's controlling people, putting other people down. Once you start to realize on this journey that that's obviously that's insecurity, that's not true power. Getting power from other people by controlling other people is not true power. True power is really being just authentically you, with already knowing this who you are is good enough. And for obviously for women, attracting a lot of women, female narcissists, as a guy, you've been told to put other people's needs first, um, or you're trying to, your sense of worth is by trying to fix people. If that's a relationship with your mum where it's about their needs, and then you're trying to help them and you're trying to fix them, I mean, that's the perfect relationship for someone who wants to get energy from someone. If that's someone, they can just tell someone what to do, and they can tell, it's all about them. And then the other person's also trying to save them, trying to fix them, trying to give them all of their attention. It's like an over giving. So yeah, of course, if that's the role model, the template, that you've been assigned, or that you've always been used to, of course you're gonna keep manifesting that, and it's what you're going to be attracted to. I think sometimes that is why we're attracted to certain things till we learn the lesson, you know. um, and then if you keep attracting that sort of person, once you realize, you're like, there's nothing really here. They only really care about themselves. I'm also over giving, which is, why should I do that? Why should I give all my energy to this person? Are they really that special? Which sense a sense of low self-worth in you. And then if you keep being attracted to, more so as a guy, you're other men who are just putting you down, and they're like, look at me, I've got all this money, and I've got this, and I've got that, and you're seeing them as being amazing. You're kind of somewhat confused, because deep down, I don't think that's probably the man that you do want to be. Um, and these people will always disguise themselves, and more or less over the years, some narcissistic people will be like, straight away, some people could see as like, that's a red flag, but then after a while it's like, oh, this person seems okay. But it does normally feel a bit too good to be true, and it's just reflecting this back to the parent, to that side of both parents, um and yeah, why you're attracting both the narcissists. But as you start to grow and see that, and learn that, and maybe even speak to your, have a different relationship with the parents as well, and with yourself, the narcissistic people should stop coming into your life. If anything, you'll find more empathic people, or people who maybe are not so empathic, but they're not narcissistic controlling, you know, because a lot of narcissistic people just can't change, you know, or they normally say they can't change. But I like to think everyone can change. But generally, you know, again, this is the fixing thing. If you think, oh no, maybe I think they can change, you know, are you going to stick around to figure it out? So with the enmeshment, yeah, if you start seeing that differently, I feel like if we always fake, you know, this is always about, on this channel, talking about the root. You know, if you focus on that at the root, changing that relationship at the root, with the mom, with the dad, knowing the kind of guy you want to be, the kind of woman you want to meet, you know, and then how you relate to the parents as well, you know, that's what will change everything, at the root, rather than just trying to say like, oh no, that's fine, I'm not going to go there, you know, they're perfect, blah blah blah, which is some element, you know, is a aspect of narcissism as well. Like, oh no, it's that childhood was perfect, you know, everything was fine, there was never, yeah, maybe there was one or two, but it was mostly perfect, you know, there's nothing, and you sort of push that away. The parents are perfect, they're the best, I couldn't get anything better, couldn't wish for anything better. Of course you can say that from a good place coming from love, but if you're saying that from a place where it's like, no, they generally are perfect and blah, 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 again, it's the sort of element of narcissism that someone's perfect, you know, you have this male role model and you're like, this guy is the best, you know, he's the perfect male role model, you know, this woman, you know, she's perfect, she is the one, you know. So that's where you fall into the narcissistic things, because you're looking for the perfection, but the perfect woman to make you feel great, the perfect guy to, you know, so you can be like them. But ultimately, you know, that's not how it is, you know, nobody is actually perfect, you know. You'll know when you meet the right person because you kind of come at a similar level. And it's like talking to yourself and, you know, a part of you, rather than this person's from a different world, different dimension, you know, without the human stuff, because there's no emotion there. There's no empathy there, sorry, for other people. And it can be very charming at first. That's always the thing, which is an element of you as well. You know, being over charming very early on. And you can fall for that because you are looking for the perfect person. And I think that's where we fall into that loop. So that's my take on with narcissism, and link to enmeshment, why are likely to attract more narcissistic people. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and speak to you soon.